Howdy. I'm JP Escarcega, and I've got some 5 minutes to hopefully at least spark one mind in this room today. The focus of my talk is that of the questioning mind. In other words, it's the idea that we all ought to think a little more, boost a little more analytical juice in our systems, because yes, we as a country, we as the people, we as everyone, are currently facing this big crisis right now, one that on one hand is largely unrecognized, but on the other is the sole factor that is contributing to every other issue that we face today. Gentle persons, I introduce you to shallow thinking. You know, I think quite quickly we can all come to the same conclusion, that shallow thinking is the culprit behind the veil of everything that we struggle against in these modern times when it comes to things such as global warming, overpopulation, child abuse, discrimination. I think we can all start to see that those stem from really not thinking things through well enough, not understanding something clearly enough, not knowing something deeply enough, thinking shallowly, and interestingly enough, this brings me on to the idea of America. You see, though America is beautiful, that doesn't mean it can't have ugly statistics. When some half of its citizens cannot even list their 3 branches of government, when some half of our voices that really make the decisions that change our lives in this country do not even understand the constituents of what makes their own lives happen, that becomes a problem. And it becomes such a problem that then in the terms of swaying, in terms of anything can happen to those citizens, those voices that have no solid platform of reason on them. What's worse, 1 in 4 Americans still think the sun revolves around the earth. You know, when I first read that, I first had to verify it, because it was pretty out there, and I got it from The Times, I got it from Discovery News, I got it even from the National Public Radio, all nationally recognized, verified, trusted news sources that are letting us know how America exactly is in its realms. And at first I laughed, because, you know, it can be something out there, right? Why the sun revolving around the earth, it seems pretty crazy. However, it should be equally concerning that we have such a big chunk of our population that still believes in a fallacy disproved some 500 years ago. And it's in that moment that I think that we should all really come to that understanding that there are certain things that we need to deal with. And I do realize that I stand in the middle of a class filled with gifted honors students, that most of you can list off your 3 branches of government, that most of you hopefully know that the sun doesn't revolve around the earth, but that's not where the line draws, unfortunately. You see, we're teens, right? We are caught in this hubbub of pop culture, social media, all these different ideas, even popularity schemes, and in all that chaos, I ask that we take a step back and we start to really notice what's going on around and how things are really starting to be portrayed in our own sense of who we are. So then what does that mean? Well, when we've got 1/3 of all teens experiencing cyber threats, when we've got over 80% of teens actually experiencing cyberbullying, it should raise some pretty big alarm bells, right? And if it isn't, check your system, because we've got all these moments in time, we've got all these examples of people that just really are trying to struggle through things when it comes to drugs. Because 1 out of every 10th grader, so 1 of 3 me's, has admitted to taking a drug in the past year, has admitted to doing so. Yet that's only the amount of people that have admitted to taking drugs. And what's the point of that? The point of that is that not only is there that, but studies also show that when we do educate our youth, when we do educate our teens on what drugs really are, they are 50% less likely to use them. What that means is that it has all the evidence for there being that when we say learn, we actually change things. When we think, we start to progress in our own sense of our own being, and that is everything to us who live this life. Because it's those questions, right? It's everything that we've been put for, everything that we've stood for, that I think we're starting to lose. Because nowadays, I remember when I was younger, right, we always had these questions. We went through the terrible 2s and the crazy 4s, that old conundrum where everything we asked was why, 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 why? And I think we've all asked it. When it comes to who we are, what meaning is there in our lives? What can we do? Who are we as people? I think it's really important that we do that, because without that curiosity, we're just going to live it through this life. So once again, thank you. Be curious.
JP, do you have a work cited?